Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here, joined by Cam Brate, and now our special guest of the week. We are so excited. Lavonte David. Lavonte, thanks for being with us.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Look, Cam's already so excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I get to hang out with Lavonte for an hour.
The moment Cam became a co-host, he was like, we have to have Lavonte on. It was like priority number one. So first of all, you already get props for drawing such a short straw of it being Hurricane Week and after a rough loss. So as always, you get the Good Guy Award, which everyone knows. So Lavonte, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. No problem. I don't know why he was so happy. We don't like each other.
Well,
So-
perfect.
We love each other.
So it sounds like a love-hate situation where
There's
basically
no hate on my end.
Yeah,
He might hate
it's-
me, but
you
it's all
love
from you
him
to-
and he hates you.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Yeah, perfect.
It works out well.
What could go wrong? Well, we're going to start out a little bit looking back at the game, and then I promise we will, like the team, move on from it, where I know y'all are already past the 24-hour rule. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply to media.
Okay.
So we have to look back at it just a little bit here. Big picture now that you've had a few days, and I'm sure had to watch more film of it than you would care to. Big picture takeaways.
Easy fixes defensively for sure. Small things that we could take care of, man. Being in the position that we was in, we should end the game easily. Handle the, just small things that we just got to take care of defensively, and it's a fix. No reason to panic. No reason to panic at all, but definitely could be fixed, and we're gonna get better and we're gonna learn from it.
Cam, what did you notice watching this game?
Yeah, it looked like we had it there. I mean, yeah, there's definitely positives you can take away.
Yeah.
I mean, offense did a great job. The only two drives they didn't score because a couple penalties pushed them back. Defensively, not the best game, but there were some bright spots in there. Obviously, Logan with a couple sacks.
Yeah.
Just his improvement over the second half of last year, carrying that over to this year. He's definitely taken strides. But yeah, that's a burn the tape game, you know. Yeah, just
Burn the tape game.
You watch it once and kind of forget about
So,
that.
and I'm sure it's like one of those where you're also really happy you do get to face them again, before too long.
Yeah.
So now that you've seen, especially Kirk Cousins here in Atlanta and in that scheme, what are some of the big things that you noticed about facing a guy like him who is the savvy vet that kind of knows how to do that stuff?
That's exactly what it was, man. Savvy vet, knowing how to manipulate the defense with his eyes and get guys moving in certain areas and find his receivers find small spaces in the zones that we were playing, things like that. So it's just something that we, that's why I say it's an easy fix, something that we can learn from and get better from it.
And how about guys like Pitts, Mooney, London? What are the things you feel like you learned facing against those individual talents?
Yeah, guys are just playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins getting the ball out of his hands fast, getting the ball to those guys out in space, making sure getting them a chance to make catches yards after the catch. And for us, we just got to be able to get our feet set and stuff like that, and be able to just react on throws and make tackles in the open field.
Let's focus on one of the bright spots, which was your interception.
Right.
Tell me about this play. Take us through this moment here.
First of all, it was a long time since I had an interception.
I mean, I didn't want to say that, but
So that definitely was a breath of fresh air for me. But just long down distance, 4th and 15, I believe. Just sent back in my drop. It was cover 2, and I got a chance to just read the quarterback and break on the football. So that's basically it. It wasn't nothing magical that happened. The only magical thing is that I caught it,
That's
So-
magical. That's-
Magical. That sounds like something Coach Foot would have said to you too.
Exactly.
That it was a miracle.
Because I dropped plenty prior, but definitely got it. I'm happy I got a chance to get my hands on the ball. So they always say they come in bunches, so I hope more come.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Calling shot there.
Calling my shot, man. I'm letting you know
You heard
right
it
now.
here first, ladies and gentlemen. If it keeps happening, this is why. We're talking to Lavonte David here. I feel like you joke that you've dropped a bunch, but do you know that you have 13 career interceptions, which means you're tied for the most among active linebackers. And your 67 career passes defense are the second most among active linebackers. So your coverage skills, man, I mean, you know what you're doing. Tell me, I feel like we give you a lot of credit for your tackles, your forced fumbles, all that stuff, but the coverage skills are not too shabby over here.
Yeah, they're not too shabby.
too shabby.
I had some practice.
Yeah, how much credit do you give me?
Not much, but a little bit. But
I mean, he wasn't that much of a challenge to really help you, right? Wasn't that it?
that was mostly interceptions on him, but
Oh yeah.
nah. But a lot of those pass defense, I wish they were interceptions. But,
That was what Cam was gonna say.
yeah.
6-7 PBUs.
Yeah, right.
50 drop interceptions. Nah, Lavonte is incredible at covering man to man. Like zone, he's got great instinct, great feel. I mean, he's got a lot of reps in it, playing 13 years.
I love that even while complimenting you, he's like, I can find a way to make an old joke or something in here.
Classic.
But yeah, he doesn't have the best hands in the world. That's why he plays linebacker. But
otherwise, he'd be a tight end, right?
Incredibly, probably the hardest linebacker in terms of like winning one-on-one matchups as a tight end. Lavonte, 100% over the past 10 years.
That's the nicest thing you ever said to me.
Look at that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's it. No more compliments.
Yeah, he's like, that's it. That was the one. Tell me why he is so hard, especially specifically as a tight end, to go against someone like Lavonte.
He holds all the time. No, honestly, it's like just savvy. Like he's seen it all. He understands like route concepts. He's able to diagnose like, hey, 2x2 under the boundary, outside release, it's probably going to break out. It's like even watching the other day, like it's so funny. Tight ends run a lot of stick routes. Like you go forward 6 yards and then you break out. And all these dudes always go up to Lavonte trying to make a move at the top, and Lavonte's just sitting there waiting for them to break out every time. But yeah, it's just he has a great feel for it, great understanding, and yeah, if he could catch better, he'd have probably like 30 picks.
30 picks at this point.
Yeah,
I know also the forced fumbles are incredible. You have like such a unique skill for this, and it's not like everyone isn't trying to do this. But for you now, you have 30 career forced fumbles, tied with Khalil Mack for the most among active players, and it's the most by any inside linebacker in NFL history since forced fumble data became available. Not too bad over here. Tell me why specifically you're good at forcing a fumble when, like I said, everyone out there's trying to do it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, always looking at like how can I impact the game, some way, somehow. I mean, tackle's cool, tackle for losses is cool, but I just want to impact the game in a different type of way, just make plays on the football. And that's another level, making plays on the football, scripting the football. And then I credit Coach Lovey and their staff for like really like honing in on that, you know how they were. Yeah.
That's all they were talking about.
Yeah, so like I think that just got drilled in my mind. Like any chance I get to make a play on the football, whether it's punching it out, going after it, that's what I try to do. And I was able to get that many forced fumbles. So I just try to find my way to make an impact on the game other than in a different way. Like I look at me playing linebacker as being a playmaker, and that's what I just try to take it to.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Okay, so when you punch the ball out, right? How often do you like actually see the ball and like you're punching, or are you up there just like punching blind, like hoping you're gonna hit the ball out?
Sometimes I punch blind, sometimes I see it and I punch it.
Okay.
It's like let's say if it's one-on-one tackle type thing, I'm punching blind because I'm trying to secure the tackle too as well. But if it's in a hole, I can see the ball and I can see it being held up. I'm aiming for the football. I'm looking right at it.
Do you ever like punch him in the face? Like punch him in the helmet? I have before. Yeah, terrible.
I have before a couple times, and I did mess my hand up a couple times by that. But to answer your question, sometimes I do punch blindly when I really have to secure a tackle, and then other than that, like if it's a pile or I know somebody coming, I know I could take a shot at the football.
How much more often are you actually getting the fumble out when you can see it versus punching blind? Like, is it like a 50-50, or is it like you can tell it's way more effective when you can see it?
I think it's way more effective when I see it. Yeah, because it's literally a clean punch.
Yeah.
So I'm like somebody holding the ball like this, and I'm seeing it, got the follow through like I'm boxing, something like that. So I can see it, I follow through with it, and I know it's gonna come out. I feel like the cleanest one I had probably was a couple years ago when we was in Washington, maybe. 2021 season.
We lost
when we lost that game. And I remember the receiver was coming, and I was eyeing him the whole time. I just punched straight through. I'm like, yo, that was a good one.
That was a good
I felt
one.
the ball
Yeah.
go through and everything. So good.
What's the most satisfying play you make?
Most satisfying?
Yeah,
play?
like for you, that's the most fun individual play. Is it like a strip sack? Is it an interception? Is it like forcing a fumble? Like what's for you?
I don't get many strip sacks, so I can't take that out.
Well, you had one. Didn't you have one against the Eagles?
That's my very first one.
Of your
that
career?
was it?
On the quarterback.
No way.
Yeah.
I bet that felt pretty good.
Yeah, it did feel good.
Yeah.
I see why those guys get so excited about that. But,
I see the appeal of this.
The most satisfying thing, even though I haven't had many, but an interception is beautiful. Just the feeling of it.
It's beautiful.
For real, just the man, you diagnosing the play and you breaking on the football and the quarterback just throws it right to you. Just like, it's just, I think the interception is like the best feeling.
I always imagine too that there's a lot that goes into it mentally after you've actually intercepted it. That like you're so excited, and then now you have to do things
right.
And
like,
you're
like
not used to this.
Right then, like in the interception I caught in the game yesterday, I tried to make a move and I'm like, I haven't had none in a minute. I ain't know what to do, So but definitely was satisfying.
That's pretty great. 1,500 tackles. That is a heck of a number.
That's a lot.
You and Derek Brooks are it for the Bucs.
Yeah.
When you found out that you were hitting that mark, what did that feel like to you?
When I found out it was during the game, I didn't even know.
You didn't know it was coming?
I did not know. I did not.
Man.
Like I don't keep up with all that stuff like until people bring it to me. But I remember on the surface looking at the thing or whatever, and then like I hear the announcement, Lavonte David, and they tapping, everybody tapping me. I'm like, oh, and I just did something real quick. Like I didn't know, like I wasn't really, like I was in the moment of the game. You know what I'm saying? And then after the game, like everybody congratulating me and stuff like that, and then that's when it hit home. Like dang, like I'm up there with Derek Brooks, like one of the all-time greats at linebacker. One of the best people I know. He's a Hall of Famer. He's an all-pro football player, and he one of the vocal points of this organization. And then for me to be mentioned in the same breath as him, it kind of like settled in after that. Like I'm like, dang, that's really a blessing. It's truly a blessing. And then the other side, I thought like, dang, that's a lot of tackles. Sheesh.
Been around a minute.
Yeah, like what am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? But all glory to God. Definitely feels amazing though.
That's awesome. That's where all those gray hairs came from that Cam was pointing out before we got on air. For everyone to know, that's the first thing Cam said to Lavonte, which I really did.
First thing.
More tackles or more gray hairs at this point? What do we think? It's getting
about
close.
the same amount, it looks like.
No. I prefer more tackles.
More tackles. I like it. The
490
stats are gonna.
2,000.
These stats are now tied. They're gonna both continue to increase the longer we play. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with Cam Brate and our guest, Lavonte David. We talked about a lot of your stats you've hit and career milestones. I feel like every week there is either a stat for you or Mike or both of you that every single week. And now recently Mike gets to set the franchise record for points, which is wild because, again, at this point it's him, Emmitt Smith, Jerry Rice are the only non-kickers to have that honor for their franchise. Wild stat. Now, 100th career touchdown, 7th most multi-receiving touchdown career games in the league. I mean, it's just wild. Yeah. What have you seen from him, especially at this point, for both of you to be at a point where people are saying y'all should be slowing down? Yeah. What do you see from a guy like Mike of how he's looked this season already and just to hear those kind of numbers?
Yeah, I mean, everybody know how I feel about Mike. I mean, everybody feels, respect Mike greatly. Just, just the way he works. I seen Mike coming in as a rookie. This big, tall, fat kid, fat receiver. I'm like, he play receiver? And then, like, just seeing him.
He was fat.
Yeah. And then seeing him, like, work his way all through that and, like, get his body to where he's at now. It just was amazing to see. That just goes to his work ethic and just hear how much he, pay attention to his craft. And just, it's just great, man. Just is a great, great person all around. And then a great football player. And then seeing him, accomplish all those accolades, it's amazing to see. I think he should have more, just because, he's an underrated talent for sure in my book. But he's definitely a Hall of Fame caliber player. And for him to have, lead the organization in points, yeah. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He almost at 100 touchdowns as a receiver.
He's at 99 receiving. He had one that was like a fumble recovery, so he technically has 100 touchdowns. Yeah. But he needs one more, which I'm sure everyone is telling him, like, bro, don't throw this ball away. He gets rid of a ball so quick, and there have been so many of these milestone things that they end up asking about. And he's like, oh, yep, gave that away.
Yeah, that just shows like he don't really like care about that stuff. For real. Like he just out there working, dicing dudes up, just trying to make plays for the team, man. And I seen his growth from young Mike to now. It's incredible. He was a fiery, feisty guy, and now he's more chill and calm, which is kind of surprising. But still the same playmaker. Like I said, man, I don't think he's slowing down either. He's taking care of himself and being able to play at a high level every Sunday.
And then Chris Godwin, I feel like same thing. Every week we're hearing something about he's surpassing this, and it'll always say second only to Mike Evans on all these franchise things of yards and catches and all of it. For both of you, I'd love to hear your thoughts on getting to watch the two of them over the years, and to know that, I mean, the top two receivers in Bucs history playing next to each other for all this time, what that's been like. So Lavonte, tell me what it's been like for you watching Chris.
With Chris, man, just seeing Chris come in his rookie year, I remember, was it 17? And like, I remember him in training camp. I used to watch him, how smooth he was, how smooth he run his routes, how he like just put his head down and just work, and he kept that same attitude to right now. Like, I still see the same way he was, the way he worked as a rookie, he still worked the same way, just trying to find things to get better at day in and day out. And I always messed with him about, like, I remember he was a gunner for us. He had to.
He was a great gunner too.
Yeah, he was a great gunner.
He was
like,
awesome. Yeah.
And like, he had his AC joint, both his AC joints was like hurt. And I'm like, when I found that out, I'm looking like, dang, bro, because I had one. I'm like, man, I don't know if he could, like, you know, because he played receiver. I don't know if he could really work with that. But like, for him to like still ball with it, like run down, like make tackles on at gunner, I'm like, oh, he gonna be special. And it's no surprise to me that he's doing what he's doing. You know, being a consistent player for us for all these years, and I expect him to keep on, you know, getting higher and higher.
Yeah, I mean, they complement each other really well. Chris does all the dirty work, and there's not too many guys that do that across the league. Like, Chris is lead blocking on plays, like blocking linebackers, DNs. Chris is just a great football player. Like you said, like, played gunner his rookie year and was awesome at it. But like, he obviously has just gotten better and better. Does all the little things right. Makes all the grimy catches. And then Mike's obviously incredibly talented. He's just like an unreal football player. So yeah, you put those two guys together, it's hard to defend.
Right.
And what have you liked about Baker coming in here this year, Lavonte, of like what he has done for, you know, the team, the locker room, his leadership, and then on-field play, of just kind of what he's meant to you guys?
Yeah, Baker just full of swag, man. When you got a quarterback who just full of swag, you know, be into the game, hype, geeked up, it get everybody geeked up too. You know what I'm saying? So we expect Baker to do that. You know, I feel like he at his best when he's doing that, and that's what we want him to do. You know, want him to be himself, go out there, have fun. That's one thing we always preach, man. Just have fun when you're out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too caught up. I mean, I know it's the game, it's a series or whatever, but, you know, like, don't forget why you play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out there to have fun, be with your teammates, you know, make plays. You want to win, obviously, but when you're making those plays, celebrate sometimes, because it don't come around often.
Did y'all see his undercover video where he went as undercover as a fan? Did you both watch it? What
Yeah.
were y'all's thoughts?
It didn't really look like him. I mean, once he started talking, I was like, all right, yeah, like, it's Bake, but like, they did a good job with that. Yeah.
The funniest part when they was at the locker, and the dude was just talking, and he was like, I hope so. I hope he can do that.
Yeah, like he's going to get to call some of his own plays this year. He's like, I hope he can handle it. That was really funny. I enjoyed that. So also getting Vita back for you guys. Tell me what that's like of you playing at that second level when Vita is up there in the middle coming back after this injury.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, what an impact these last couple of games have an impact. What's that do for you, the whole defense, and what that's like to watch him just single-handedly maul people up there?
That's amazing, man. Vita, for a guy to be his size and the way he moved, it's very rare. And for me, playing linebacker, just to see him take on 2 blocks for me so I could run free and make tackles,
it doesn't make sense how strong he is.
I don't complain at all. You know what I'm saying?
By all means.
You have to have 2, maybe 3 people on Vita at all times, because, you know, and then what another thing is too, man, like he's getting real smart. Like, he's real smart on how, like, people's going to play him, people are going to attack him. So that gives him the chance to, you know, do certain things, you know, especially like, you know, sometimes you when you have a nose tackle that big or whatever, they kind of take you out on passing down, but shows to his testament and his worth ethic how, like, he gets staying on passing down and rush the quarterback, and past 2 weeks he got sacked. So for him to be back, it was really huge for us. So for him to be able to dominate in the passing game and the run game, to be that size is very rare.
When Vita's out, it obviously makes a huge difference on the defense. Going into the game, for you, does that change your mindset at all? Like, hey, I'm probably going to get more offensive linemen working up to me. Or, like, are you going in with a different mindset? Like, I'm going to have to attack now, as opposed to kind of reading off what Vita does?
I think more so attack now. Like, be, like, real, you know, gap and technique sound in the run game, because, you know, some people not going to hang on to blocks as much as they hang on to blocks with Vita. Like, it's more of a attack thing for me, right? Like, when when other guys in, but with Vita, I know he's going to be, so I could be a little patient to be able to play off him and stuff like that.
Blockers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely one of the things that he presents to our defense.
And how about you guys have had so many injuries on defense this year. It's been wild. And how does that affect you, similar to like knowing different people are out, how much that changes what you need to do, and then just the defensive game plan overall? Because, look, I know everybody says next man up, no excuses, all that stuff, but, like, I mean, it affects the plan.
Yeah, it's different. It just like how you got to play certain things, certain coverages, how this person going to play the coverage versus how another person going to play the coverage. I remember years prior, when I played with Whitehead, we played a certain coverage where I know he's going to jump a certain route. So I could play a little, aggressive underneath, and I know he could be aggressive over the top, and somebody could be like behind us or whatever. And then when he left, I know I had to be I had to be a little shaky on a certain route or whatever. But now that he's back, I get to play it like that again.
Yeah.
But like, it's like those little things that go in between the game. Like, it's not supposed to be played like that, but since me and him have that kind of.
Do you guys talk about that, or is it just understood? Okay.
Yeah, we talk about it, but then it's like we did it so much, so it's not understood. Like, we know.
Don't even have to say
when we get this coverage right here, we're going to do this right here. We get this route and this coverage. So, like, when different guys is in there, I got to play it true. And, I can't do this. I can't be aggressive on this, stuff like that. So, it's kind of different like that. Then you got, when younger guys step up, you don't want to mess them up. So, you just focus on doing your job, and I'm going to do my job. And then you can go from there. But that's just the type of relationships you got to build with certain guys when they're in there. And then, like, when you have a lot of young guys, they get kind of nervous, like, nah, man, coach don't want me to do that, so I'm gonna just do this.
Look,
right
I
here.
would also be nervous of upsetting Coach Bowles, to be honest. Like, let's be real. This is not someone I want mad at me. I'm like, I get that. I understand that.
I mean, you respect that. I mean, at the end of the day, we still doing what we're supposed to do, but it's certain things that you can tweak in there a little bit, but I guess you leave that for veteran guys.
What has it been like for you playing alongside KJ Britt this year, and then also Servassier when he was coming in that role, and the way you guys had worked it out as your little trio there?
Yeah, I think with that, it's just a personal relationship, man. I think you got to have the personal relationship with people who you're working with, just to get a chance to, like, get a feel for, like, what things that they like to do. Like, for instance, like, some people may like to blitz more, some people may like to cover more, things like that. But, me, like, and with those two guys, like, both of them do different things, pretty well. Certain times, with KJ, he played around really well. So I get a chance to, like, okay, I know KJ gonna do this right here, so I'm gonna do this right here, and let him play aggressive, and I could be, a little slower over the top to, like, help him out on certain things. And then you bring in Servassier and passing downs and stuff like that, and know how he likes to do things and know how I like to do things. We kind of work together and stuff like that. But it's been fun working with both of those guys, just continue to build in that relationship with those guys. And, when we blitz and stuff, I take all the blitzes because I'm the older guy. So, I kind of be selfish in that aspect. But other than that, it's been fun with those guys, man, just seeing the way they progress and how they, willing to learn and things like that. Just like how we are in the classroom, just talking through things and just trying to get a feel for one another. So it's kind of like it can be a little shaky just when you work with different guys back and forth, whatever. But I think that's where the relationship part come in at, and just getting countless reps with those guys and kind of just get a feel for each other.
We're talking to Lavonte, David. Tell me about playing in Coach Bowles' defense. And also, specifically, you brought up the blitzing idea.
Yeah.
I think he said on one of our shows recently that you didn't originally want to do that, and then you got a taste of it, and you're like, okay, I don't hate this so much.
Yeah, that's very true. I remember they was asking me, why you don't blitz? Why you don't want to blitz, man? Because it was one of those situations like, man, I want to get more interceptions. Like, I did pay attention to that. Like, I wanted to get more interceptions. And Devin was here at the time, and Devin, so I haven't liked the blitz. So
he's like, I'm
hey,
all for it.
Go ahead and blitz. Like, I'll let you know. Like, when I'm tired, I'll let you know when I want to blitz.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I did. But to answer your question, Bowles' defense it's fun to be in. It's more confusing for the opponent. It's a lot of stuff in it, but like it's more confusing for the opponent, but not for us. Like, it's a lot of situations where everybody doing the same job, and then the next play he'll do it, but it just flip. You doing the opposite job, but it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's the fun thing about it. So everybody really got to know what everybody doing and stuff like that, because one week you may be doing this, and the next week you may be doing what the other person was doing. So that's the fun thing about it. And then there's for me, man, I love aggressive defenses, and he's that type of head coach that want to attack and be aggressive, and that's fun for a guy like me.
Yeah, and Cam having to go against a Todd Bowles defense with a Lavonte in it. Thinking back to your days as tight end, was that kind of nightmare scenario?
Yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable preparation for the season. Like, we would have seen everything by the time game one started, right? Yeah. Like, Coach Bowles will throw everything at you. A guy like Lavonte, you need versatile pieces for Coach Bowles' defense. That's why Antoine is so impactful for the defense. Lavonte, they both are great blitzers. They're great in coverage. And I think the past few weeks without Antoine, you've definitely been blitzing more because that requires a certain skill set. Yeah. I mean, if you're blitzing, if you don't get pressure, you got less guys in coverage, so they're gonna dice you up. But yeah, Coach Bowles' defense was very confusing sometimes. Yeah, I try to get the script the day before and see what coverage they were going to be playing the next day.
That's that Harvard education right there.
Yeah, it worked. It helped out a little bit. But
what is Lavonte doing? Okay, great.
Yeah, but no, Lavonte was he was a great adversary for many years. You know, he definitely made me a better player. Hopefully, maybe made him a little better. I don't know.
Nah, you definitely made me better.
Aw, that's so nice. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We got more coming up here with Lavonte David on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with Cam Brate and Lavonte David. Wanted to get a little bit into who Lavonte is as a guy. You know,
it's gonna be fun.
I know this would be the part Cam would be most excited about.
Might learn something about him.
First of all, I know you played for quite a high school football program down in Miami,
indeed.
The same one as Kalijah Cansey, correct?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Tell me, what was that like for you to in high school already be playing in these like national championship type games, nationally televised? At your high school, and then also, I mean, are there like 1 million alumni from your school that have gone on to play in the NFL?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, but you know, just being down there, growing up in the inner city part of Miami, you know, that was the school to go to. You know, my whole family went there, so I had no choice but to go there. I remember one point, like, I was getting ready to start football. I was going to the 9th grade, and I wanted to play junior varsity. And my mom was like, no, I can't go. I'm not going to that school. I got to go to this other school. And then, like, just knowing how rich in tradition, you know, Miami Northwestern is, it's like, I'm not playing football no more. I don't want to, like, if I don't care, if I'm
how
not going
history
to
could have changed. That was the end.
If I'm not going there, I don't want to play football no more and this and that. But we ended up figuring out a way to do it. And then, you know, just... it's different, man. It's like for a high school and people that have so much pride in a high school football game and like how the community comes together for a certain high school. It was great to be a part of, and then like the atmosphere. I felt like I was in college already, you know, playing. Even though it was like maybe like 5,000-6,000 people, but like it just felt. Like
how many people did you play against or in front of in college, Cam?
We don't got to talk about
it. Yeah. You said it was like college. I'm like, it was like Cam's college.
Dude, Harvard, Yale. I mean, we would get people out for Harvard, Yale, but Harvard, Columbia really didn't hit the same way.
Draw.
No, it didn't.
That's pretty funny. So then, was there a challenge for you in going from such a prolific high school program that did draw so many people to then going to community college? Was that a challenge for you? And then I'm sure also maybe a bit of a cultural challenge of Miami to Kansas?
Yeah, definitely a cultural challenge for sure. You know, I didn't know nothing about Kansas. I didn't know what Kansas was. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know who I was going to meet. But, you know, luckily Eddie Brown, you know, Antonio Brown's dad, he reached out. So, and my family was already familiar with him. So they kind of trusted him or whatever. And then, you know, when I got out there, it was like me all by myself, you know, man, the ride from the airport to Fort Scott was like 2.5 hours, first of all. Then I'm getting there, I'm like, what is this? You know, like I'm from a city. I like seeing buildings, you know.
So had you been out there before you like enrolled?
No.
You've never visited?
That was my very first time. And I packed all my bags. Like, this is it. Like, this is where I'm going to be at. And then once I got out there, I'm like, I swear, I said, I don't know if this is going to last, you know. And then going through that, you know, I was able to, you know, hit some, you know, some adversity, went through some tough times at first, but I was able to overcome it and came out on top out there.
It's pretty
amazing. Cool. When did you realize you were like good, like a great football player?
When did I realize it?
Yeah.
I it's hard for me to say because I don't really like.
I would say I don't know if he's realized it yet. Like this kid over here with his humility.
I really just like look at it as just like I love football, right? So I just really look at it like, man, I'm out there just playing the game that I love and just showing my passion through the game. And then so it happened, it's been going good. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna just keep doing this while it's going well.
Like honestly though, like my junior year at Nebraska.
Okay.
My junior year at Nebraska, I remember after my junior year, you know, I had a couple records or whatever. I won all these awards at Nebraska my first year. And I started getting calls from agents and stuff like that. So people thought I was coming out early and things like that. I'm like what? Like I'm talking to my parents, like, hey man, when these people calling me, like what's going on? Like I don't know what they doing or whatever. Like I don't know what it's about. Like am I going to, like, I was very confused because I didn't know. And then last night people started saying like, you know, like you got an opportunity to go to the league. Like you had a really good season or whatever. Like that's when they hit. I'm like, oh, I'm doing something. I'm doing something good. But then I remember they called us in and whatever, saying like, kind of like talking to us about entering the draft early and stuff like that. So I think I probably would have been like my grade was like a 3rd or 4th round grade or whatever, but I didn't really like look at it like that. So I just came back another year and then kind of like took off from there.
That's crazy. And when you were at Fort Scott, was JPP there at the same time as you?
JPP was there.
What a historic community college situation with Lavonte and JPP.
I actually didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Nah.
All right, how was young JPP?
Young JPP.
Was he the same?
Definitely was the same. Definitely was the same. So me and JPP built a relationship because we always played behind each other. I was the wheel backer and he was that strong side end, call side end. So like, you know, throughout that, whatever, we kind of built a relationship with each other. And then like my sophomore year in high school, he was a junior or a senior, and they beat us to go to the state championship. So he used to always mess with me about that and things like that. So kind of already knew about each other a little bit, and then like our relationship just grew from there. And yes, JPP definitely was the same guy, always active, always doing something. JPP was our barber in junior college. Like he used to give everybody lineups and haircuts and stuff like that. Full haircuts.
No way.
Yes, full haircuts.
Was he good at it?
He was really good at it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Would you trust him now?
No. That ain't right. Yeah, that ain't right.
I trust him.
Cam.
What?
Amazing. That was hilarious.
Right. That is not right, Cam.
So, and then you guys you played in the national championship for the community colleges when you were there?
Yes, my second year.
So was
I only played 1 year with JPP.
Okay, so he wasn't a part of that team.
Right, he wasn't a part of that team.
And then you played Cam Newton in that championship,
Cam
right?
Newton in the championship game. Funny thing about that game is I won Defensive Player of the Game, Defensive MVP, and our running back won Offensive MVP. But we lost on a last-second punt return.
Oh, no way.
Devastating.
Yes. It was like clock was running with like 20-something seconds left. We punting the ball. The clock is running, you know, and specifically told the punter to kick the ball out of bounds. But for some reason, somehow, it was windy, it was cold that day, or whatever. I don't blame him, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
it. Yeah, it doesn't sound bitter still at all.
I don't blame him. And then the crazy thing about it is, because of like who we had to prepare for, we had to prepare for Cam Newton and things like that. So like I used to play punt on the team. So they took me off because I had to spy Cam throughout the week. So they wanted to keep me rested or whatever. So they took me off punt. But ended up, he kicked the ball and we literally see it go like this and just go right back in the dead center of the middle of the field. And I swear to you, if it's a wide shot, you can see the whole sideline just drop, and I'm included. Like I literally just dropped. I knew it. Like I knew it. And the guy ran it back for a touchdown, ended up beating us. We was up probably like 5 points, and then they ended up taking it back.
I love that he's won a Super Bowl, and yet you can tell
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
still
It
like
still
it hurts.
hurts.
It
That
still
does
hurts a little
hurt.
bit.
It hurts. It hurts. Cause going to JUCO, Fort Scott, like, and putting all that work in that we put in, and like to be able to lose like that, oh, it hurt. I cried. I cried. I boohoo cried.
I boohoo cried, not just a little shiny tear.
Yeah.
All right, besides playing, wait, are the Chiefs in Missouri or are they in
Kansas City?
I know,
Well,
but
technically Kansas, I think.
I think
So
they
yeah.
Okay.
Kansas.
have you gone back to Kansas since you went to junior college there?
I haven't.
Will you?
Maybe.
You two should take a road trip.
Maybe.
It sounds like you can go
That'd
see
be
all of
great.
Lavonte's old stomping grounds.
Maybe. But
But
I
now,
don't mind.
Maybe once you've made the Hall of Fame, I think you should do a whole tour of all of your places that have built you and take your Hall of Fame jacket back. Does that sound like a good idea?
Think about it. I think about it. But nah, Kansas was good to me. There's some great people out there. That's why one of the reasons why I stayed out in the Midwest for college and stuff like that. Just the people was very genuine and nice and stuff like that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
For you now to know, looking back at this whole path that you had to take to get to where you are now, and that now, I mean, I'm not kidding when we all talk about, we all assume you're a Hall of Famer. Like that's just a understood thing around at least this building in Tampa and Bucs fans. For you, what is it like to say, like, if you look at that whole journey, why you think you've gotten to this point and had the kind of success you've had, and after it sounds like there were multiple times it just could have gone a different way? Yeah,
I think just going through adversity and just overcoming it, being resilient about certain things, always having a positive mindset, positive outcome, thinking about everything is happening for a reason, right? I used to be like, man, God putting me through this for a reason, so I'm gonna stick with it and I'm gonna work through it and I'm gonna focus on it. And I think all that just motivated me. Every little bad thing that happens, I always have a positive mindset about it. I wasn't like this in high school, wasn't like that in high school. So, but going through that kind of, matured me. I had to grow up really, really fast. Being out there by myself. No money, we didn't have normal stuff that other college people had. So like I had to really grind and really work for, what I was able to do and what I was able to get. So I think just going through that and just understanding what I went through that got me here right now to this day. So I never lose that mindset. You know what I'm saying? I feel like once I get too comfortable, get too complacent, get too, feeling myself a little bit too much, I think I'll probably get hit back to rock bottom, and I don't want to go through that, So that's why I just try to whenever I do feel myself getting a little, carried away or whatever, I always just go back and think back to having to go to junior college, having to go through all that stuff, and then I kind of snap back.
Wow. Yeah. I know the Bucs have also said that now you're the prototype for who they want to draft, that they've got this silhouette up on the wall in their draft room. Crazy. That is a photo of you, and it's the I am that man, and they basically are like, is this person like Lavonte David? Yeah. Cam, how did you feel? I was
number 2.
I was going to ask, how did you feel when you learned it wasn't you?
Yeah, there was a lot of votes for me, I heard, in the room, but yeah, I guess Lavonte has some better traits than me on the football field, but outside the football field, it's a good guy. It's probably me. But going back to what you were just talking about, the reason he's still such a great player is he loves the game. You can tell when you're watching play, every single play he's hustling to the ball. He's old. How old are you now?
34.
Man.
How old are you, Cam?
He's hurting. His knees are probably sore, but I mean, he's still flying around. He's commanding all the guys around him. You can tell it just means a lot to him. He still loves the game, and it's hard. The older you get, the more reps you have to still have that same passion. So it's amazing.
Right, Cam, what do you remember about Lavonte when you first joined the team?
He was so much quieter.
That's very true.
He was. I feel like he's definitely gotten more comfortable, in who he is, and he's such a great leader. He definitely always led by example. But yeah, we had some really bad teams in there early in our career, and he's still you wanted to play hard for Lavonte, because it just meant so much to him. You could tell we just got blown out, right? And he's hurt. He's yelling at all of us to come on, guys. And you would play hard for Lavonte. But yeah, when I first got there, he was really quiet. He was really good. And so he kind of scared me a little bit. I didn't really know what his whole deal was.
Obviously, that has faded.
Yeah, it has. He is a great guy, great teammate.
That's amazing. What do you remember about Cam when he first came in?
Same thing I do remember. He was here one day, and then he was gone the next, and then he was back. I was like, what? How did that just happen? Because I didn't know. I was still young. It was 2014.
I was there in 2014 the whole year. And in 2015, I left for a second. Yeah. I came right back.
And you went to the Saints.
Yep. And of all places.
Right. And then he came back. I'm like, dang, man. And then, just watching him, work his way through. And then, he became a sure target for us, just watching, so let's see what Cam got. He getting his opportunity. And then he started making plays. I'm like, he's gonna be a guy for us, and he turned out to be that guy. Like it was one of those points where like every time we get points, where like we get in the red zone, we need a big key play. Find Cam, and Cam gonna make a big play for us. So, and then like just to watch the way he carried himself, the way he worked. He was quiet too. He didn't talk as much.
At the beginning,
I was
when
like,
you're
I
a
don't
rookie,
remember that.
when you're an undrafted rookie, like, I don't think I said anything to anyone the first like 3 months I was here. Yeah.
That's funny.
He's a big troll too. So
A bit. Well, yes, that's usually what I think of.
Yeah.
He's a
friendly troll.
The kind with the pink hair.
Yeah,
those kind of trolls.
one of those.
Yeah. You mentioned, Cam, that when Lavonte would yell at the team, which does not happen super often, that I love that like Lavonte is the lead by action, not necessarily words most of the time, which then means when he yells, it's like, oh, bleep.
It's different.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. Like, I feel like you let him down, but no, it's like obviously Lavonte's first probably 8 years we were not very good,
right? Yeah. And
so like to then become really good really fast right after all those long years, like I'm just so happy that he got to experience, because he deserved it. Like he put in all the work when we were like 2 and 13, but yeah, it's been just fun to watch his journey.
Do you, Lavonte, like when you do end up saying things one way or the other, does it just like, is it planned? Is it not? Is it like sometimes you just can't hold it? Like what decides for you when you're going to just be the like strong, silent type versus yelling?
I never like to talk or whatever. So like it's never planned. I'll tell you that right now. It's never planned.
That's why we really enjoyed bringing you on here for an hour to torture you for a very long time.
It's never planned. But like, it's just like, for me, like when I talk or whatever, like, okay, I know some teams may get the better of us, whatever. Some teams may, out scheme us and make more plays than us. But like, it's just the thing for me. It's just like when it don't look like people care enough or like really trying. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the stuff that kind of like gets me. I'm like bro, like it's football. Like it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just go hard and go there. But like when I see it, whatever, and it look like nobody's trying, nobody's doing this, nobody like I'm looking around, nobody's upset like me, and I'm like, I something needs to be said. Yeah. Like you gotta be more passion, man. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. So with the stuff like that, and then like when stuff get a little, you may do have like a good game or whatever, and do be good, but then like you kind of see like little lows and stuff like that in certain areas where you want to just be like, nah, like. That ain't, you being complacent or whatever, not gonna get us to where we want to go. So that's when like we have bad practices defensively. That's when I was kind of like nah, like no, it ain't gonna work like that. Like in this league, like you gotta keep on climbing. You can't stay right here. You gotta climb.
I like it. All right, we're going to take one more break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back to Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with Cam Brate and Lavonte David. Right before the break, we were talking about when you've had to occasionally yell, rally the troops. Do you trash talk on the field?
Only when I'm provoked. I don't really.
What I love is that everyone says this.
Moments. With me,
with you that don't count because you provoke me. Matter of fact,
I never provoke.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do. Because you'll say when you be like, "Stop holding." Like, what? I'm not holding you. Like, that's the stuff, like little small stuff. But like, I mean, because we kid around like that though.
But like, you definitely, yes, you do. I seen you on the field trash talking people.
You think so?
Yeah.
He just blacks out. He doesn't know what happens.
Maybe. I think I do black out. Cause I mean, okay. I'll take that back.
It's coming to him.
It does. Like when I see people like trash talking to teammates or something like that, I jump in, things like that, and then that's when I kind of like get turned up. But I'm never the one who to initiate the trash talking though.
It's always the provoked. It just sounds like he gets provoked fairly often. Yeah, that's maybe what it is.
Honestly, I kind of look for it.
Yeah, you like provoke them suddenly so that they say something. Yeah.
Now, someone who I don't think needs to be provoked to speak in any way, shape, or form is KJ Britt.
At all.
Tell me what it's been like for you to be the guy that is known for being a little bit more on the quiet side, and then I feel like you're the dog that's like maybe 10 years old, know what's going on, and then like a puppy enters the house and just always wants to talk and play and everything. Does that sound about right?
Sounds exactly right, because Devin was the same way.
Yeah.
You know, always talking with this and that, just trash talking. I guess it's just the younger generation. You know,
I'll listen to that. That's younger
KJ would like
generation.
get beat on a route, and he'd still be talking trash.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the way it is. Like, I seen a little clip or whatever. KJ just doing training camp. You know, he always mess with Mayfield, Baker or whatever. Hey, Baker Mayfield, throw me the ball, Baker Mayfield. But like that's him. Like, it's all day. Like, he trash talk us, the linebacker group. He trash talk everybody. That's just him. Like, in the game, the other day, he was trash talking. But like, hey man, like, chill out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it like kind of get kind of carried away with KJ. You know, so
that's pretty funny.
Kind of calm down a little bit. And then it's like, when I look at it, it's just like, my young pup, I let my young pup doing all the talking and barking, and then like when they come, like the big dog stuff, hey, they better leave him alone. You know, I kind of look at it like that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I like that. Tell me when and how you have felt old now on the team compared to these younger guys. I don't mean like your knees during the game. I mean like, you know.
Honestly, when I signed back, it's like when they were saying like, after I signed back and after I signed whatever, it was saying like, it's year 13 for you, man. Like, how did it feel? I'm like, oh, it feel great, this and that. And that. I'm like, well, how does it feel to be the oldest guy on the team now? I'm like, what? Like, I'm the oldest guy on the team, age and year-wise. So I'm like, dang, like, saying ain't so. Because, like, I just remember I was just this young guy, year 5, year 4, still learning or whatever. And then, like, now all of a sudden I'm in year 13 and everybody's saying, like, man, you the oldest guy on the team. Like, that's crazy to me, But, I just took it for what it was. And then, like, just the respect of the younger guys coming to me, kind of like calling me OG, calling me, Unc here and there, whatever it may be. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to see. Because, like, I remember we had Darryl Smith. He was in year 13. He was my vet, for a year. And then I used to mess with him all the time about it. I think this is karma, getting back to him.
Can I ask you like a hard question?
Sure.
Big time journalist question.
Wow. I'm really excited.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I was thinking, what could I ask Lavonte? And I actually want to know the answer. All right. Year 13.
Yes.
Back half of your career, probably, right?
Correct.
All right, when it's all said and done,
what
do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, look at that.
Pretty good question,
That's
right?
a journalism school question right there.
Thank you.
What do I want my legacy to be? I really wanted to be like, how did I impact the people around me? Like, what did I give off to the people around me? Did I leave a bad thing or a positive thing or a negative thing? Did I inspire people? Like, did I treat you a certain way? Like, I just want to know, like, how people, viewed me as a person, for real. And then from the football aspect, I just wanted, like, people to know that, like, they could count on me, whenever I was out there on the field. Like, they knew that, like, oh, we don't got to worry about Tay. He going to give his all, no matter what. I just want people to, like, know that, every time I step down on the field, I really cared about you, and I really enjoyed, like, being out there on the field with you. Mm. So that's kind of, like, what it is. Like, all that actual, like, personal stuff, like, that's cool, whatever. I know that that's going to come. But, like, I really want to know, how did I impact a teammate, or how did I build a relationship with somebody and stuff like that.
Jury's still out. Yeah, we'll see what they say. Yeah.
We're talking to Lavonte, David. So now this week, as if you guys didn't have enough on your plate just trying to prepare for games, now there is a hurricane coming. You guys are heading to New Orleans. For you as the old head on the team, as the leader, what do you feel like is going to be the extra responsibility on guys like you to make sure everyone can stay focused when there's a lot going on off the field? Yeah,
just a lot going on, man. People got families, certain situations, getting everything organized, back home, running about the other families and stuff like that. So, my thing is just, we still in season, so we still have to, focus on, our craft, on our job. So whenever, we practice or whatever, I just got to make sure people stay locked in, making sure people stay focused, making sure everybody still got that feeling like, got to get this bad taste out of our mouth because we just lost the game that we should have won. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, but for the most part, I think we have a great core group of guys who, understanding the mission, you know what I'm saying, who know how to flip the switch off and on. Like, okay, family's safe, everybody's gonna be good. Now, got to get back to work. Got to get back to the main thing.
And Cam, what do you remember just in general now? They're prepping for the Saints. This is a team that, this bitter rivalry essentially at this point. And I guess for both of you, what is it like going into playing the Saints in New Orleans compared to even other games?
It's good. Yeah, it's always crazy. Yeah. I hated playing there.
Yeah.
They're just a different atmosphere. It's like nowhere else. It's like dark in there. Mm-hmm. It's like the fans are going crazy.
Yeah. Obnoxious.
It's always going to be a physical game. Yeah. That's just the Saints ID and ID, DNA, and didn't make sense. But it's always going to be a hard game. Yeah. No matter how good you guys are or how good the Saints are. It's going to be a good game and gonna have to bring it.
Have to bring it full 4 quarters. Divisional matchups, right? They're going to be physical. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard for a game, but. Since I've been here, I don't know. It just adopted into me because I'm here. But ever since I've been here, it was always this thing with the Saints. Nobody really liked the Saints. So now I'm just trying to bleed that onto the young guys. Hey, we don't like this team. Yeah. So y'all need to know this. That's what I'm saying. Going back to your previous question, making sure everybody focused. Hey, this team right here, I don't care. We got to beat this team right here because how they are. They get into the media, go to trash talking and stuff like that, and we don't want to deal with that. So only thing you do to shut that up is just go out there and beat them. But it's been crazy since I've been here, with that football team. So I don't expect nothing less.
And then tell me what stands out about their offense. I know they got a new coordinator this year, but a lot of similar, personnel from some of the main skilled guys.
Very explosive from what I've seen so far. Very explosive. They got playmakers on the outside, and then Alvin Kamara. He's the vocal point of the offense. He's a guy who's always going to be a mismatch. They're going to try to create mismatches for him, in the passing game and in the run game. So definitely a guy who's running with, purpose, this season. And as always, he's going to be a difficult task for us. And, for somebody who can be a threat in the run game and the passing game, you got to be able to come with it. You got to be disciplined. You got to be focused, and then, they got Derek Carr, another savvy veteran quarterback who, can, kind of hurt you in many different ways. So definitely got to be ready and prepared for those guys.
And you have to keep an eye on Mike Evans.
Keep it. Honestly, you think Mike grown or whatever, you'll get comfortable with Mike being, cool, collected, whatever, but then again, when it comes to the Saints,
it's on site.
It's on site. It's on site every time, but, I love it, though.
Yeah, we're here for it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, Lavonte, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We know it is a very hectic week, so we really do appreciate your time and always just excited to have you on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Case anytime.
Anytime, all right.
You heard it. Every week, everybody, Lavonte.
I'm going to mark my words. Damn, I'm going to eat my words.
All right, that's going to do it for us on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio.